So I see a lot of racial stuff going on with the Kendrick Lamar, They Not Like Us, because he did a big, the concert, and there wasn't really no Latinos there, but there was OGeezy. Now, afterwards, they kicked it with Lefty Gunplay. Lefty Gunplay went and kicked it with a bunch of them. And I seen a couple other Latino artists, they kicked it with them as well. But what I do want to say is a lot of people leave this out, and they think that hip-hop and rap was just created 100% by blacks. That is not true. Hip-hop and rap was created 50-50 with Latinos and blacks. Look it up. Look up the information and look it up, okay? One of the first rap groups ever had a Latino in it. DJ Disco Wiz was Latino, and he was part of the first rap groups, okay? African Bambaataa, the Zulu Nation, yeah. It was blacks and Latinos that was in the Zulu Nation. Goofies. The Bronx is mostly Latinos and blacks. They came together collectively and they created hip-hop, okay? You can look it up online. All of the people from back then, all the people that created hip-hop, they literally will tell you Latinos was right there with us when we created hip-hop and rap. So there is no, Latinos are rapping, they need to stop rapping and this and that. No, we created it just like y'all created it. We was right there, 50-50.
Okay, Mr. World as we know it. I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to look it up. You said it's online. I could easily look it up. I'm going to do that, Mr. World as we know it. Matter of fact, first, let's find out who created Latino music. Let's just ask that question, okay? Okay. Latin music is a complex and historical process that originated in the 16th century when European settlers brought their music to Americas during the Spanish and Portuguese colonization. The music is a result of blending cultures with the influences from indigenous, African, and European sources. Indigenous music, the Mayas, the other pre-Columbine cultures used to wind and percussion instruments. European influences, Spanish and Portuguese settlers brought their languages, musical styles, and instruments such as guitar. African influences, slaves from Africa brought beats that inspired Latin music. Roman Catholic influences, the Spanish and Portuguese introduced Roman Catholic religious music such as Gregorian chants and Spanish sacred polyphony, which influenced native folk music. Okay, so what music, because you said we could look it up. I'm taking your word, the world as we know it. What music did Latinos create? Okay, it talks about Latin being basically influenced by African indigenous influences and United States influence. Okay, that's what it says. The world as we know it, you told us to look it up. That's what it says. Now, what music was created by Black Americans? Wow, a litany. African Americans have created many genres of music, including jazz, which originated in New Orleans, rhythm and blues, a pivotal genre that emerged in the 1940s, hip hop, born in New York City in 1970s. Hip hop was influenced by blues, R&B, and funk and became a cultural movement. Country. Black Americans have also helped shape the country music from the banjo, which was brought to the Americas by enslaved Africans, to artists like Mickey Guyton and Beyonce. So, according to this, it's a black American art form.
Now way back in the days when hip hop began with Coca La Rock, Coca La Rock.
Okay, so I'm here with, introduce yourself.
I'm Coca La Rock. I'm the first MC of hip hop.
Did you know any Jamaican B-boys or Jamaican? What about Puerto Ricans? Did you know any Puerto Ricans?
I knew like a handful. I know a handful.
That was breakdancing. Was there any Puerto Ricans breakdancing at that time?
We put it to you straight up. There wasn't no Puerto Ricans.
Wasn't no Puerto Rican. Wow.
Until the parties.
You only knew one Puerto Rican B-boy at the time.
Johnny Cool.
That was one Puerto Rican. So Puerto Rican culture that had nothing to do with starting hip hop?
Nah,
Right.
not at all. No part of any Spanish culture started hip hop. So don't just say Puerto Ricans. Any Spanish culture had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop.
Nowadays, we got some pretty well-known rappers speaking publicly about their opinions about hip-hop started from Jamaican culture and Puerto Ricans was 50-50 in the creation of hip-hop. Do you agree with that?
No.
Okay.
Hip-hop, to me, the birth of it was an all-black day.
We put it to you straight up. There wasn't no Puerto Ricans.
Wasn't no Puerto Rican.
Until the parties. Y'all want to know the truth? No. Spanish Brothers was not breakdancing in the 70s. 71, 72.
Okay. This is gonna 1978. Yeah, what year did this is gonna 1978. Yeah, what year did you get into did you start rapping, Ruby D? Late 76, early 77? 76, 77.
It was a gradual thing as far as Puerto Ricans getting involved into hip hop. Puerto Rico was playing congas and timbales in the park while we was playing turntables. All right, so they are guests in the hip hop.
Puerto Ricans didn't start hip hop at all. My African American brothers created hip hop.
Also, sometimes I bring my set out into the park. People would criticize me, Latinos especially. Like they would tell me, "What are you doing playing that Jungle Bunny music?" You know, like they were really opposed to me doing this. You know, because they said, "You're Latino, you know, do what you're supposed to do." And it's like, supposed to do, you know what I mean? I didn't know I was supposed to do anything. But I was getting a lot of flack from Latinos for doing what I was doing. But I ignored it, you know.
One of the lines that made this song so famous is when I go Boricua, Morena, and Boricua means Puerto Rican and black woman. That's like my love to the music, you know? My love to thank you to the black people for accepting Boricua. Thank you to the black people for accepting Boricua. Thank you.
And then the Hispanics were telling me, what the hell are you doing, man? What are you doing playing that Jungle Bunny music, you know?
A person, a race, an ethnicity could say, we invented this, it is ours, and everybody came after.
Can I say something real quickly? Hey, listen, back in the 70s, 60s, maybe a little earlier, the Bronx is the melting pot of all ethnic groups. Huge migration of people to the Bronx, okay? And that's who created, or that's who put together this culture that we love so much. You know, hip-hop was birthed in the Bronx, and hip-hop holds no color boundaries or ethnic boundaries. I mean, we had Jewish cats breaking. You know,
doing graffiti.
Doing graffiti,
like
you know.
I mean, keep it a buck. I mean, hip hop, like basketball, was predominantly black. Okay? And I remember, and my man Disco Wiz ain't here right now, but Disco Wiz, you know what I mean? We was friends in school, and when I told him I was DJing, I put him down with me. We started DJing together, and we would just, as friends, just walk through the neighborhood, walk down streets. We used to dress alike and shit, and he would catch flack from Puerto Ricans, Latinos. They would like stop him when we was walking and say something to him in Spanish, and I could tell that something was wrong because he would hand me his hat. Yeah, and I seen him knock 3 or 4 people out for saying, why you hanging with that fucking Moreno? All right, so it wasn't all everybody kumbaya. We was at that point in our youth where we was in the park, and most of the Puerto Ricans was in the handball court, and most of the black people was on the basketball court. Now, did black people play handball? Yeah, but it was predominantly Puerto Ricans. Did Puerto Ricans play basketball? Yeah, but it was predominantly black. And that's the same thing for hip hop.
But let me just say this, and I need you to spread this to every Hispanic, with all due respect.
Yes, sir.
African Americans created hip hop. The Hispanics, you witnessed the genius of the foundational Black Americans. You didn't create shit. You stood there and you witnessed it. You witnessed the creation of hip hop. Don't ever get that fucked up.
Hold on. I'm Haitian and Dominican.
Okay.
Why you gotta throw little hate? Why you gotta throw little?
Thank you, sir. Good night. Guys, when does Tariq Nasheed's documentary come out? Isn't it supposed to come out around Black History Month? Oh, folks, I'm gonna black the fuck out on you Hispanics. You got this thing all fucked up.
You know what I mean? I got niggas 2-3 years older than me talking about, you were not old enough to know what was going on. You weren't there. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? Who cares if I was there or not? Were you there when your mother and father fucked? Huh? How do you know that's your mother and father? How do you know that that's your mother and father? You going by their word? Because you wasn't there. I'll tell you how you know. You know how we determine parentage? Through DNA, motherfuckers. Through DNA. Now, when I look at the DNA of hip-hop, when I look at the double helix of hip-hop, what I see is soul music, funk music. I see people that, parents that might have come up in the South who moved to the North, specifically the New York City area, and whose children came up in that post-Civil War, not Civil Rights, not Civil War, that post-Civil Rights era, with that Northern attitude, that attitude that was like, motherfucker, I wish I was around during slavery times. I wouldn't have let motherfuckers with me. Like when Roots came out when we was young, niggas was like, I wish a nigga would. That's the energy that birthed hip-hop. Those kids that watched Roots and all that type of shit. That's the energy that birthed hip-hop, bro. And that's the DNA you see all in hip-hop. And so we hear it musically with the type of samples that we choose or chose to play at that time, with the break beats that we chose at the time. But we also hear it in the language, okay? We see the DNA of the 5% nation very much inside of hip-hop, with terms like peace and cipher and God and son and you know what I mean? All kinds of shit. We see the DNA, but nowhere do you see the DNA of Puerto Rican culture. Puerto Rican culture. I'm not talking about Puerto Rican individuals. I'm talking about Puerto Rican culture. Jamaican culture. Those things did not influence hip-hop, regardless of how official motherfuckers sound saying it. I'm sorry. I hate to hurt your heart that the thing that you adore and love is something that Black American youth created. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that hurts your heart for some reason. I don't know why it hurts you so much. But this is a fucking fact. No one said y'all wasn't there. No one said you wasn't there. Sure you were there. But if I'm building a house and you watch me build a house, does that mean you built it too? No. When the doctor births a baby, is the doctor the father or the mother of the child because it was present at the time of birth? No. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, only the people that were there during conception are the parents. Okay? So, all of this shit about we were there, yeah, you were there. But there's a difference between a creator and a participator.
But let me just say this, and I need you to spread this to every Hispanic, with all due respect.
Yes, sir.
African Americans created hip hop. The Hispanics, you witnessed the genius of the foundational Black Americans. You didn't create shit. You stood there and you witnessed it. You witnessed the creation of hip hop. Don't ever get that fucked up.
Hold on. I'm Haitian and Dominican.
Okay.
Why you gotta throw little hate? Why you gotta throw little?
Thank you, sir. Good night. Guys, when does Tariq Nasheed's documentary come out? Isn't it supposed to come out around Black History Month? Oh, folks, I'm going to black the fuck out on you Hispanics. You got this thing all fucked up.